school, I was 24 and the dating pool was everyone. And now it's like a shallow puddle of age-appropriate men who are old and gross, and I don't want to do that.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video for you here today from Alpha Central titled, "She admits that her husband made her happy, but she divorces him anyway." This is the story that we see all the time, whether women say it or not, is that they just up and leave their husbands either because they find another guy or because they want to take his resources. But oftentimes it's not actually the man's fault that the woman just decides to up and leave. Let's jump into the episode.
Can somebody tell me what I'm doing wrong here? I'm on like my third by myself date, being stood up again. Like all day long was being told we were going to do lunch or dinner. Lunch went by, we didn't do lunch. I check on dinner and I'm like 5 o'clock-ish. Hey, I'm getting a little hungry. Do you think we're going to go out? No, I already ate. Are you serious? You know what I said? I'm too cute to sit at home.
These women love to complain about how they're constantly getting stood up, catfished, and ghosted, even though they're the ones who were doing the exact same thing when they were younger.
I am. Got my hair did. Got my errands in. Yeah, I'm not getting ready to sit at home. So I take myself out to eat all the time. It's a regular thing, and I have just learned that I am my best company. So it is what it is. Here we go again.
She says that she's too cute to be sitting at home alone, so she took herself out on a date, and she's still incredibly unhappy with the company on this date of hers.
Question for the people that have successfully gotten through a divorce. Is it normal to see babies and feel so mad at them? Like, happy families? I am packing my apartment and it's just bringing up a lot of really sad memories. Packing our vow books, congratulations cards, things like that. And it just makes me think of the timeline of where I wanted to be right now. Like, thinking I would be pregnant right now.
It's interesting how she's avoiding the obvious truth that she was the one who clearly wanted the divorce, but that won't stop her from milking her divorce journey for all of the sympathy it's worth.
There's a playground outside of my window in my apartment complex, and just like seeing kids and like seeing families is like killing me. Which is so weird because anytime I've wanted to get pregnant in the past, it hasn't happened. I've been like, I'm so happy for everyone that it's happening for, but like right now I just like, I can't even look like on my For You page. Like, if there's like people talking about their fertility journeys or people who are pregnant, like I literally like can't even look. Like, it's making me so upset.
What this woman doesn't understand is that she could have had the children she wanted with a man who cares for her if she just accepted that marriage isn't a fairy tale, but the delusion is usually stronger than reality.
Crazy, man. This is crazy. Y'all see, I'm not paying for those. Look, I'll pay for the food.
Why would you come outside? There's the waiter. She's gonna think you're trying to dine in there. She's right there.
You got something to Why would she bring me? Why would she bring her kids on the first date?
This is a great first date. Like, we're having a good time. I had a nice drink, a margarita with ginger beer.
But kids, though, you don't bring your kids on the first date, though. That's not.
My son had fun. He had fun. You had fun. Yeah.
She brought all 5 of her kids on the first date.
If a woman thinks bringing her illegitimate children to a first date is reasonable, then she's just looking to feed those kids without having to pay for anything. That's not a red flag. That is a radioactive wasteland.
The question is, this is very important to me, so that's why I asked, are y'all okay with dating women with kids?
My name is Belly. I'm 31. And I mean, I don't mind kids, but back to what you said, how many you got? I got a couple of my own, you know, so.
All right. So you're going to have to answer how many is, so they know how many is too many.
Okay, I'm going to just be honest because I'm not ashamed of my kids. I have 6.
She's clearly ashamed she had that many on her own. If she wasn't, she wouldn't have hesitated to answer that perfectly reasonable question. She knows that many kids is an instant turn-off for most people, especially men.
Yep, I got 3 girls and 3 boys.
Okay. So, why you have your balloon unpop?
Well, you know, like first initial attraction, like you pretty. So, and I don't mind kids and stuff, but that's like too many. They're expensive and, you know, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so it's Beline your type. Why? Why not?
Yes. Very beautiful. I like your style. I like the way you dress. I like that you're honest.
In other words, she knows that if things were to get serious, she would have to take on the role of providing for children that aren't even hers, which is a massive liability, which will pretty much lead nowhere good.
Become a little more invisible the older you get as a woman, unfortunately. I don't get asked out on a lot of dates. I never get asked out on dates. I don't know if it's being 55 in Los Angeles or if it's just a strange town.
What is the biggest confidence killer for women over 50? Men over 50. They never look at you anymore.
When I was 55, I felt like I was starting to fade. I felt like I was starting to go invisible. I felt dismissed. I felt ignored. I felt like I was washed up.
What's funny about this is how men of all ages are invisible for most of their lives, but those men don't feel the need to go on TikTok to record a video complaining about it.
So you got 100 millionaire right now that you're dealing with?
No.
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 Why not?
Well, like I said, we broke up.
So, okay, so since you moved on from him, you haven't found anybody else?
I mean, I got a pool now, but like, no one's serious. I'm not taking nobody serious right now. I'm doing my thing, and
What do you think about that,
Yeah.
McQueen?
What do I think about her not having nobody that's taking her serious?
Yeah.
okay, you guys are saying, okay, well, let's clarify. I'm not taking anybody serious.
Okay, what makes you think that it's not the other way around?
What do you mean? Because I'm not looking for that right now. I'm literally like calculatedly being single. I'm moving to Dubai August 1st.
If she's moving to Dubai, it's to try and lock down a rich Middle Eastern man. The problem with that quote-unquote plan is those guys are notorious for their bedroom fun preferences. She's going to be in for a messy time.
How old are you?
I'm 47.
Are you going for older men or younger men right now?
I'm going for someone that is probably a little bit younger to maybe only a few years older.
Okay, so what's a little bit younger, like 45, 43?
At least 40. At least 40.
Okay. Would you say that at your age your drive is higher than it's ever been before?
I would say definitely.
So do you think that 47-year-old men are going for women your age, or are they going for younger women?
I'm sure they're looking for someone younger. Absolutely.
It's interesting to see how when these women are young, they claim that men are pigs, that all they care about is bedroom fun. But when they get older, it's them who want to prey on the younger men for the exact same thing, apparently.
And why would that be the case?
Like a single man at this stage of my life is looking for maybe a little more excitement, or they're just getting out of a long relationship, so they're not looking for like a commitment. So going with someone younger, typically it's easier to find someone that's not looking for a commitment. Someone my age that's dating, we're looking to settle down and be with the person that we're going to end up with.
She's got that backwards. A lot of single men who are looking for younger women are looking for someone to settle down with and start a family. You can't do that with a woman who is almost 50 years of age.
You'll be 35 years old with a 6-year-old and a teenager, both by two lower earning men. Why would a man who's making $500,000 plus want to deal with that?
I think it just depends on the perspective that he's taking.
Give me the perspective that you think a man who's making $500,000 plus would take to choose to deal with that.
I would say that I don't have any baby daddy drama, right?
Neither do women. Neither do women with no. Hold on. Neither do women with no children.
What single mothers don't seem to understand about men who are wealthy is that they didn't get wealthy by financing the lives of children that aren't his. He's going to protect his wealth, not just give it away.
Invisible as we get older. Let me tell you a short story of how I first experienced this. So I'm 57 now. This was probably when I was about 55. I was walking through a mall, and all of a sudden, I just got this weird sense that nobody saw me. I just was there, and I was walking, looking at stores and looking at people and different things, but nobody was looking at me. And all of a sudden it occurred to me, oh, people used to look at me. I mean, men used to look at me.
One mistake that modern women make is how they assume that men will always look at them the way they did when they were in their 20s. They have no idea how important their youth is when trying to find a man.
You know, even women would notice me, and all of a sudden I just felt like I wasn't relevant anymore. Like I didn't really matter and nobody noticed me. And it was the weirdest, emptiest feeling. I felt overwhelmed with a feeling of like sadness and depression. It occurred to me I wasn't as outwardly, I guess, vibrant and attractive as I used to be, if that's what I was, you know, but that's what it felt like. I felt like I just kind of faded into the woodwork, like I wasn't that special and nothing was really, you know, nobody was really noticing me. I was just kind of there, neutral, like faded, just blended into the scenery.
She is trying way too hard to not admit that men were attracted to her youth and fertility. She still doesn't want to believe that she took the most important thing she had to offer for absolute granted.
I get that you turn everything into a joke. I think you do that really to protect yourself as an armor. I don't think you actually think it's funny, but to recognize that like you're a beautiful young girl and you're never going to have the prospects. You're not going to have a man that wants to have a family with you because they're going to see you as damaged goods. Your mother partaking in that, just so you know, is a form of abuse. It is. It's abusive.
I personally don't see it as that. I mean, my mum's just trying to help me. But what then would you suggest my mother does? Like,
try to talk you out of it.
It's disgusting to me how parents will support their children's decision to go into creating spicy content. It just shows how little they care for their children's privacy, dignity, and future all at once.
Like a mom, this mom is supposed to guide their children when they're doing decisions like that and say, listen, I understand you may think this is that, or you may think it's this way, but you're a beautiful young girl. You have your entire future ahead of you. You have two parents that love you. You know, you could marry a man and raise children and have a happily ever after. Or you could be the girl who everyone knows, who can't have a child that goes to school without people making fun of them. I mean, imagine having a son and they say, like, you know, your mom's on the internet. I watched her get by 100 men, you know, or a daughter, you know, something which is just like, it's so precious, that relationship between a mother and their daughter.
A mother's job is to love, protect, and help guide their children. And if a mother decides to make spicy content, then she's clearly telling her own children, her own flesh and blood, mind you, that those three things are not a priority to her.
Being married is no longer the standard for women. A lot of us are starting to see that we are better alone.
Don't you find it interesting that all of these modern women that find it impossible to get and keep a man, much less get married, all of a sudden want to act like marriage is not the standard, marriage is bad? No.
Marriage has always been the standard for modern women. They obsess over it every chance they get. They think that marriage is the greatest romantic gesture. That's why they hold it over each other and flex on each other with it. And when they refuse to do it, they post cope online.
You're a horrible person. And you're not good company. You're entitled, you have a negative attitude, you think the world owes you something. That's the reason why you can't get married. So instead of pretending like the new standard is to be single, why don't you just admit that you're wrong?
If there's anything positive to come out of this TikTok cringe, it's that it allows modern women to show their true colors and convince men to not bother even talking to them. It honestly saves time and headaches.
I dated a guy that was 13 years older than me. So when he was in his 50s, I was still in my 30s. And one night in a conversation, he was like, you know, Fiona, men get better with age and women decline. I thought, oh, really? And then this morning I was scrolling through Facebook and this interview pops up. And it's this guy interviewing this other guy on the streets of Miami. And this guy is like 30 years old. And the interviewer asks him, what do you think the difference is between men and women as they age? And the guy who said the exact same thing that my ex said. He said, you know, men get better with age and women, well, they decline.
He said that because it's a fact. We can prove this with modern women who go after older men when they're at their peak in value. That's because older men are considered more desirable as time goes on if they have put the work into themselves. And I don't mean the work that modern women say is work, you know, where they just become more narcissistic.
I've been thinking about it all day and I'm like, you know what, that's not true. Like, not anymore anyway. Okay, maybe it was true in our grandmother's time. Now in 2025, that is not true. Like, look around. Like, every woman that I know that's over the age of 35 looks fantastic. And I know these women in real life. There's so many women online that I'm following that are 35, 45, 55 up, and they're just like, they're inspirations to me.
Take a look at this woman's face. Not even she believes the words that are coming out of her mouth. She is just grasping onto her delusions that she's still desirable because she doesn't want to face the truth that she screwed up.
So I'm here to say that myth of men get better with age and women decline is bull, and I'm calling it as bull. What I see and what's in my reality is women, as we get older, we get hotter because we're stepping into our power.
If older men wanting younger women was a myth, then why is it that we have multiple generations worth of single women who are over the age of 30? That just proves that it's not a myth and her argument is nonsense. Also, you could just ask men and oftentimes they will tell you.
I feel like every single girl has a list of the guys she's ever been with. Like, how fun. I remember the men that have been inside of me, and I have a husband, and that's okay.
How fun. It's okay. No, it's not okay. That's disgusting. And calling men insecure for not wanting to date a woman who brags about her body count like it's a scrapbook, that's not empowerment. That's delusion. If you still hold on to your past proudly, you're not healed. You're just numb.
Modern women hate that men have standards, and at the top of that list is to not want a woman who has a huge body count. It not only shows a lack of respect for herself, but also no respect for the men she ignored in the past. And mind you guys, let's be real about it. A lot of these women who have huge body counts, they will end up cheating on you.
And a man who doesn't want that has standards. He's not insecure, he's just discerning. And if your entire identity is making men feel weak for wanting purity, stability, and respect, you're not some modern woman. You're just lost. Why don't we stop teaching women to laugh at their damage and maybe start teaching them how to heal it?
Women with body counts are incapable of moving on. Usually they're attached to one or many previous guys that they've been with, and their ability to pair bond to you will be absolutely fried.
So I never really talk about like my love life on here, but I'm 31. I'm an Aquarius. My name is Jasmine, and I'm very much single and very much tired of being single. I would love companionship. I really miss going on dates and having fun with someone and spending the weekends together and having someone that I text like throughout the day that cares about me and I care about them. I just miss that like love and that consistency.
She could have had a good man who would have given her that love and consistency for the rest of her life, but she assumed that she could always do better, and she's just at the beginning of her lifelong rude awakening here.
Like no one prepares you like for like if you're in your 30s and you're single and you're alone, like how you really feel. Like it's not a good feeling to feel this way. And I live in a very conservative Mormon state. So like a lot of people are like married and in relationships and having more kids, and I'm just not doing those things. Like I'm a single mom, I have a beautiful little boy, and I am having the hardest time dating. Mind you, like I'm not very picky. Like I do have a type, but I'm not picky. I just know what I want. And as of lately, it's been duddy.
This woman is so picky that she thinks she's still entitled to the types of men who were paying attention to her when she was younger. She won't settle for anything less, apparently.
So, I turned 40 about 3 months ago. And I find myself incredibly unhappy with my life. I'm broke. I'm single. I have horrible habits, and I have been I probably had the worst year of my life last year.
Women like this brought this all on themselves with their life choices. They think that it's all fun and games until the reality of life actually hits them, and it always seems to hit them when they're too far gone to change anything.
And I'm at a point where I'm like, I have nothing to lose, and I have to change the way that I'm living. I have to change my life. I have to make changes. Otherwise, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And I've been so low in the past couple of months.
As time goes on, we're going to see more and more videos just like this one of single, childless women in their 40s suffering from depression, addiction, loneliness. I mean, add to the list, right? They were warned that this was going to happen and they just didn't want to listen to men.
A hard truth for the single girls right now, a pill that I am forcing myself to swallow as well, is that the 6-foot+ bull is holding us back. My co-host Sequoia told me to listen to this episode of Diary of a CEO and listen to it. At first I was freaking out and I was like, I'm going to be alone till the day I die. Accept that.
Let's be real, guys. Women can't tell the difference between 6'1" and 5'10", but those 3 inches are a deal breaker because it's not about how tall a man is. It's about the status of having a man that's tall to a large degree. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And that still might be true, but one easy thing you can do to better your chances of not dying alone is not being so picky about height. You can still like tall guys. You can still prefer tall gentlemen. But in this dating landscape, height as a deal breaker, I mean, listen to the episode for yourself. It's looking bleak.
Men have been telling women about this for years, but it's only when she listens to a podcast does she finally realize that the 6-foot standard is completely pointless.
Being happy is not enough of a reason to stay married because happiness is fleeting and no one is ever happy 100% of the time. You can be happy, truly happy, when you initially get married and then you find things out. And it makes it that much more heartbreaking and that much more devastating because no one gets married wanting to get a divorce. The thing that overarches any emotion of love or being happy is change. Change is the only inevitable thing. And when it's make or break time, that is what matters far more than happiness.
It is not a husband's job to keep her wife happy 100% of the time, but it always seems to be his fault whenever his wife decides to divorce him for reasons that are unbelievably stupid.
When someone has changed to the point that you don't recognize them or they are not evolving or changing in the way that you need them to be a good partner, divorce happens. You know how sad it is that I can't even look at my favorite creators' pages anymore because they show their families and they show their kids, and I want that so bad. I do not want to be laying in bed at 1 p.m. because I'm so exhausted and sad about my life, especially when you're the only person that knows what's going on. It is incredibly isolating and sad and heartbreaking, and that is far more pressing and far heavier than happiness feels in the moment.
Modern women were sold the idea that marriage is supposed to be easy, but the second she realizes that she's going to have to put in any work to make things last, she decides that she is unhappy apparently and needs to leave him immediately. But anyway, guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I will be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.